material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most
future, also music.
We must all fulfill our duty.
Questions. Today we have 3 questions for our youth-adjacent layperson liaison, Vicar Magsaysay, in this installment of Ask a Vicar. First up in our trilogy of queries, I am currently working as a statistical analyzer, but I feel I've missed my calling as an analytical statistician. How might I switch careers?
I receive such queries regularly, based on a method known as merged spline interpolation.
Aggressor at hand.
Would be to engage in both professions. Just be careful to avoid Runge's phenomenon of convergent oscillation.
Quick, once over.
Of course, you
It's
already
over.
know how to circumvent
There?
such a simple polynomial degeneracy. Good luck. Lost speed.
Second
Trifling
query,
nuisance.
should I have another offspring? I already have 2 of them.
Your answer requires more
Trifling
elaborate mathematics
nuisance.
than I can perform in the moment, but here's a general
Result
calculation
on the
based on
phone.
a desired procreation rate of 2.3 offspring per couple. Calculate the sum of the children and the first 5 couples that live to your left, and add to it the sum of the children in the first 5 couples that live to your right. If this total sum is less than 23, you should have another child. If the sum is greater than 23, you should not have another child. If the sum is exactly 23, you should move to a new neighborhood and repeat the experiment. Next query.
Final question for the vicar. Do these pantaloons make my posterior look overly substantial?
No, those pantaloons do not appear as a term in the antecedent of that statement. Instead, other terms are leading to the validity of that assertion. Thank you for listening.
What happens next may surprise you, but not us. Next up, well, the seers among you already know.
To hold a grudge, you know.
You check your and verify your data. Send in your proof. Don't wait for later. You've crossed your T's. You've done it.
Aggressor.
The only thing that's left is
to ensure they are operating at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why.
elucidate and demonstrate. Get to the point and do not vacillate.
Ooh, an enemy.
Study Jason, grasp all disruptive influences.
Get to the point and do not vacillate.
It is the duty of every
You are the raw material for perfection.
And now, constructually compelling yet categorically voracious statements regarding products researched and designed to increase energy, efficiency, creativity, and focus. Make Pinnacle Meal Replacement Bars the complete part of your daily meals and of the plan. Designed for optimal nutritional extraction, they also taste acceptable. From the Order of the Ascendant. Ever bear in mind, we are molecular machines, our bodies a tuft of atoms, our minds a result of chemical reactions, our lives predestined along paths clear only in retrospect. This popular number has been conclusively proven to promote cognitive function.
One thing that you have to know, irrationality is good for the workflow. How can that be? How can that be? Infinite, a measure of mystery, unveils the key to logic's asymmetry. How can that be? How can that be? Irrationality. One thing that you must profess, irrationality is a part of our progress. How can that be? How can that be? Using pi, a number without end, evokes a result correct in the dividend. Accept it, and you can plainly see a positive externality. A positive externality. A positive externality. One thing you can plainly see, accepted in this infinity.
This is Grand Plan Wireless, broadcasting soothing tunes for your audio canal and enriching content for your cerebral cortex around the chronometer.
Is a fellow subject lacking?
This is Grand Plan Wireless, broadcasting soothing tunes for your audio canal and enriching content for your cerebral cortex around the chronometer until we achieve ascension. Colleagues, we are living in astounding yet increasingly difficult to predict times. One need look no further than the Rift intensification event. It is no great leap to hypothesize the rifts present an extinction-level threat. How fascinating. And worth noting how our Arcadian cohabitators view this energetic phenomenon. The incursive bit brokers in Auntie's Choice perceive the rifts as an exploitable resource once someone figures out how to stabilize them. No great cognitive feat to deduce that someone is us. Meanwhile, those chronic underthinkers in the Protectorate are taking their textbook propagandized approach, outwardly heralding the rifts as a portent of their vaunted paradigm, while no doubt inwardly seeking their own means. This is not idle speculation. The Protectorate is operating their own laboratory dedicated to rift research, the Interstitial Reconfiguration Center on Praetor. We remain skeptical of the Protectorate's research, given their lack of any staff academically lettered and duly accredited in the fields of scientism. In fact, it is likely the rift threat would never have escalated if the Protectorate had simply included us in their research from the outset. And yet we should not dismiss their clumsy attempts outright. Even a stopped chronometer is accurate twice in a daily cycle. Perhaps their efforts were not fraught with error. In the interim, you may reliably rely on these airwaves to deliver relevant and well-sourced information about the rift situation.
Well, for now, until next time, keep hail and mind your calculations. Unlike parallel lines, I hope someday we'll meet.
Further beneficial content soon follows. Consistency in your work is wonderful. Consistency in playlists is not. Now for a new song.
The spread, illnesses, and eventual control of the purple-berry parasite. OA Archive transcription number 391
is up 0.05%. An inspiring message. If that's not the meaning of community, I don't know what is. Here's a little number to get your feet tapping and your mind meditating on the perfection of Protectorate society.
Any neighbors talking low? Watch any neighbors eating slow? Pay close attention everywhere you go. Everyone staying in the know. Who watches the watchers? You and me forever.
Commercialism is the foundation that Auntie's Choice Society is based upon, not because we worship it, but because of the system's glorious efficacy, while the Protectorate decides what is the
Respond to what you want.
Working hard or hardly working? That's the story. I see you're back from the Protectorate's little mind manipulation spa. All their secrets in hand, yes?
Our team at Proprietary Insight Acquisition has been salivating over the potential commercial applications of that process. Really? Thought you had more drive, but suppose that's fine.
I, for one, care little for the completion of stretch goals. You managed to avoid being mentally refreshed. That demonstrates considerable pluck and fortitude.
Now, I assume you won't mind we have a few questions about the process. Our people will extract details about the pharmacology and methodology. That will all no doubt prove useful, but we're most interested in the technology and its results. Can't say I like the sound of that. Seems like they'd be difficult to market to.
How truly unfortunate. Those without desire or drive make terrible customers. They could barely even be considered consumers at all.
What else can you tell us about the place? Turn up any additional details? Anything especially marketable?
Protectorate-sanctioned wireless presents I, Red Cloak, the reassuring adventures of a mysterious sentinel.
That's certainly interesting. Intriguing, even. What else? But still, they keep on marketing it as virtually foolproof, don't they? So much for their vaunted moral high ground, and so much for us exploiting that piece of technology. Oh, good to know, good to know. Excellent. Well, here's your reward, along with something extra for your effort. Too bad about the lead scientist. Converting him would have earned you an above-average payout. All right. For your next assignment, well, it's something of an organizational priority.
Congratulations! Your storied success has earned you a whole entire minute with our illustrious leader, Auntie Cleo!
So your preliminary chores are complete? Oh, finally a contractor with a little backbone. Normally they flee or expire, leaving the work woefully incomplete. Ah, I remember you from before. Fairfield, yes? Tell me, as an outside agent, do you have any quandaries working with our organization? Good. Good. If only more employees shared your dispassionate air, I'd spend less time burying workforce resources complaints. Do hope you'll forgive these two. They're competing for a rather significant promotion, you see. It tends to make employees fractious, like young ursopods cooped up in the den. So, you've been advancing a fairly radical idea with a group that, to date, we've considered our rivals. I received a most curious transmission from Ruth Bassar, presiding bishop of the order, proposing we discuss the prospect of our groups working together. She stated this was your idea.
My suspicions confirmed. You're the very turncoat we've been searching for, Dunning.
Egad, you fell your companion in one well-nourished punch. How did you know he was not your true compatriot?
Let's just say it all added up.
A cessation of hostilities could present any number of potentially profitable options, assuming we could work out favorable terms. Are you sure you'd rather pursue this over your current exclusive contract with us? Before I contact Ruth, I want to be 110% certain.
The Sovereign, in his infinite wisdom, might show you mercy. I'm not as
Fine. I'll initiate a call with Ruth through a secure line in the conference room next door. Let's pick this up there. Don't keep me waiting.
Will she escape their corporate clutches?
Yes, of course she will. Those who express doubt regarding the abilities of a true and upright Protectorate Sentinel should seek mental refreshment at once. Our heroes' reassuring adventures continue in the next episode of I, Red Cloak.
The big rip.
It's obligatory listening wireless entertainment.
I find myself asking, what would Red Cloak do? Dutifully transition to other content, of course. As Eden offers a plenitude of natural resources, our station presents a profusion of pleasing melodies, like this one.
Worthy substitute. Certainly a moron.
Look who it is, the instigator of this little affair. Her mathematicalness should be along soon, unless the leader of the Order's too busy crunching numbers to attend to business.
There we are. Apologies for the delay. We were resolving some technical issues. Cloister's atmosphere has a tendency to...
Oh, yes. Regale us with a thorough account of Cloister's atmosphere. Oh, spare no detail.
This must be Auntie Cleo's trademark wit. I expected better.
Why, I don't know what you're referring to, I'm sure. Compared to how I treat my staff, I'm being a peach.
If I was discourteous, I apologize. So long as our mediator proves up to the task, surely we can remain civil. If not, these negotiations may prove short indeed.
From where I'm positioned, I sense 3 sore points still in need of massage. Point 1, control of the archive. Point 2, oversight of production and distribution of skip cores. And point 3, management of Rift technology.
Before we go any further, I want it in writing that the Order will take full control of the archive without interference from Auntie's choice.
What? So the Order can set it fruitlessly idling for another few centuries? We would put it to far more practical use. Imagine the marketing strategies it could develop.
I would sever my own hand before giving custody of the archive over to a corporation. Humanity's ascension depends on its calculations. No, such a condition is out of the question.
I am amenable to that proposition. Less work on our part.
I'm waiting to hear an argument that would support such a ludicrous proposal. That is a compelling vision of the future. One I could perhaps support. Involving money in science seems questionable. But having access to Auntie's resources would be useful for our research. Fine. Yes, I agree. Reluctantly.
Ruth, I commend you for being so receptive. And I assure you that Auntie's choice values science. Nothing bad has ever happened when science and commerce are combined.
On the subject of science, it would be most prudent for us to discuss who will be overseeing the management of skip drives, specifically the production of skip cores.
No one understands production like we do. Besides which, we have far more experience using skip drives. It was how we came to Arcadia, after all.
Where Auntie's Choice manages, the Order would undoubtedly excel. Do not exclude us from consideration merely for lack of experience.
So you ramp up production? And then what? Hand skip drives out for free to whoever wants one? Preposterous! And a waste of a perfectly good monopoly.
We would be diligent about who we licensed out the skip drives to. And a monopoly over space travel is precisely what I wish to avoid. This technology should benefit all humanity.
A year-long patent seems serviceable. And if it gets extended once or twice or 40 times, what's the harm?
As long as Auntie's Choice is willing to abide by additional addenda limiting its patent extensions, the Order is in agreement.
Yes, fine. I can have our scriveners draft something up.
There is still the question of who takes possession of the Protectorate's rift technology once the war is finished. Although the science is still largely theoretical, this technology could be used to not only close rifts, but create new ones. A dangerous power indeed, left in the wrong hands.
The Order would fritter away valuable time endlessly hand-wringing what to do with the technology. Auntie's Choice would actually use it. For good, of course, in a gainful manner. That is not an entirely terrible idea. Would cut down on the research and development overhead.
I am happy to accept such a compromise, so long as the Order always remains involved in supervising access to the technology.
Well then, that's that. I don't believe there's anything more on the docket.
There is one final matter I wish to discuss. I require some chemicals that I have been told are manufactured at a plant on Praetor, controlled by Auntie's Choice.
I know which plant you're referring to, Ruth, and what comes out of it is hardly safe for general use. Out of professional curiosity, what could you possibly need with such dangerous compounds? Running a little experiment, are we? On what? Or whom?
That is, quite frankly, none of your concern.
Watching you, your neighbors, your household pets, ensuring all subjects live in perfection.
Precisely. Partners don't withhold secrets, although they can and probably should withhold extremely dangerous chemicals if not properly notified of what they will be used for.
I will make no progress with my request without further explanation, will I? While the Archive is an infinitely complex machine, an equally complex apparatus has been designed which allows one to interact with it directly. Brain-to-logic assembly, as it were. Unfortunately, this headgear exacts a rather tremendous cost on the wearer. A certain panacea is needed to survive it, but I require these chemicals to finish it. Certainly, but nothing I'm not prepared to suffer.
And I thought we were the ones who threw caution to the wind. Ah, well, Ruth, if worst comes to worst, I'd be happy to serve as a substitute teacher for the Order.
A generous offer, but I fear you lack a certain number of qualifications. Conscience, for example. You sound just like Laureate Beckett. I weary of having this debate, especially as I can never seem to win it. Very well. Never mind about the chemicals. Now is not the time for risky experimentation at any rate.
Oh, bother. Here I wanted to see Ruth lobotomize herself. Oh, well. Best I'll say is today's outcome is workable. Barely. Our gains were not as exclusive as I had hoped they'd be.
Arriving at any arrangement even remotely equitable was statistically improbable. Be glad our mediator managed to find a middle path forward. As am I. You certainly have a way of curving probability into your favor.
Well, that'll be all for today. Don't forget to purchase the latest in Auntie's Choice products out on the value-added Esplanade, or enjoy a refreshing cocktail at the Best Choice. And do come see me personally when you have time. I have just the thing in mind for an accomplished freelancer such as yourself.
One moment. There are still the logistics of recapturing the archive to consider.
We'll, of course, provide our expert troops to support these efforts. Have your people call my people to sort details. Toodaloo!
Brusque as ever. Auntie's troopers will certainly help us manage the Protectorate forces easier, especially if supported by your help. But it would be irrational to expect you to endanger your own life without a more specific strategy in place. Fortunately, I have already given this some thought.
Right now, the loyalizer's impulse voiders are interposing Dunning's higher and lower cerebral motivation.
First, we must reclaim Spireton from the enemy. Spireton once served as the Order's headquarters, due to its proximity to the Archive. Its loss was an affront, and remains so. Unlocking and calling that lift can only be done from within the Archive, however. So you will need to infiltrate the Archive by alternate means, via a bridge connected to Newton. Fortunately, I am told you already dealt with the cultists there. Unfortunately, you will still need to find a way past a small rift currently blocking the bridge. A prudent course of action, though I would also advise caution. Praetor is as perilous as Cloister, if not more so, given the Protectorate's presence there.
Very well. It's Red Cloak's turn in the Loyalizer. Lower middle managers, strap her in.
No need. I'll enter your crude machine willingly and without trepidation. The eyes of my neighbors and our benevolent sovereign are upon me, lending me strength.
We'll just see about that, Red Cloak. Go on, get in there. Remember to keep your arms and legs inside the Loyalizer at all times. Engage the transducers. Loyalization settings at 210%.
There is a computronical key that you will also need to locate within the Archive called the Calcaduceus. The Calcaduceus grants special access to the Archive. Once it is back in Order hands, we will have full control over its systems once more.
A dramatic escape is afoot in the next episode of I, Red Cloak.
Until the Order has control over the Archive again, this discussion is all but moot. You know what must be done. May you achieve progress in accordance with the plan.
The corporate stooges and the Order were good for only one thing: laying waste to one another. Now they are allies?
I'm damn glad we could get Auntie's Choice and the Order to make peace with one another. I was worried for a minute that Basar was gonna pass up a good deal. Reckon this news will give the Arcadians hope. Law knows they need it. Anyhow, was there something you needed, Commander?
If that blockade had been staffed by staunch Protectorate defenders, we never would have been able to overcome it. Truly a sorry defense.
Hey, easy with the fratricide.
We've successfully co-opted yet another of our rivals. Can't believe those eggheads accepted the deal. What's next on my agenda?
That outside contractor is here. You requested a brief tete-a-tete.
Ah, there you are. Our fresh-faced new go-getter. We meet in the flesh at last. You've proved quite useful. Keep it up. You'll be going places. You don't seem much put off by my appearance. Good. I have no stomach for those with no stomach regarding me having no stomach. It is, however, something of a brand secret reserved for only the most trusted confidants. And covered in detail buried within the confidentiality clause you agreed to on arrival. I trust this presents no concerns for you, yes?
Well, ain't meaning no disrespect. It's just everyone was saying that you were focused on a product launch or avoiding assassination attempts. That's why you weren't seen in public.
Poor dear, believing that erroneous drivel. You do know I have a reputation to maintain. I can't let every rung leech know my condition and open the door for plotting. I ask again, do you have any problems with the previously mentioned stipulations? Fortunately, when you're the head of an advanced medical technology corporation, you become first in line for any experimental life-preserving procedures. As far as what happened, I was the victim of an unfortunate industrial accident shortly after we arrived here, the details of which are less salient than the details of what comes next.
Not exactly. Well, exactly. But not in the way you think. We have a mission for you that is vital to Auntie's Choice's survival.
We've uncovered an opportunity to procure me a new, audaciously improved replacement body. There was a past proposal to utilize graphs, but, oh, once I saw what happened to those misfortunates in the experiment, like your hanger-on here, the idea was promptly abandoned.
Wait, are you saying that the grafting program was only started up to help you with your condition? And was shuttered because it couldn't?
Yes, keep up, dear. You think we would have invested money in such a risky procedure for gains on the battlefield? Well, that's what bombs are for.
That that means your scientists lied to us, and our suffering didn't mean anything at all. Is that right? Me and mine were just lab sprats to you this whole time?
This is what you signed up for. Tell me, did you also believe that we came here to solely liberate Arcadia and not for its resources? Oh, you did. How sad. The body I want isn't just some simple yet stylistically sutured together amalgamation of corpses to bolt my head atop.
Not, this time, at any rate.
No, to find me the perfect body, you'll be assailing an inappreciably populated automated automech factory over on Praetor. Not just any automechanical, something much, much more exciting. That facility was designed to build complex automechs, a natural choice when the Protectorate began experimenting with a proxy body for the original Sovereign. It was the last in a long line of his ill-fated life extension experiments. Work halted when he died, and the torso prosthesis they developed has been locked in the lab ever since. Make it mine.
There's a sub-facility beneath the automech factory. Its entrance, being hidden, is easy to miss. But we can show you how to find it.
Well then, fetch me my new body and we can finally begin bringing this system to heel.
Don't let us keep you.
Good luck, my ameliorator. Remember, you can't spell heinous ascetic without Auntie's choice.
Such an inspiring broadcast. On to other things. Our station offers only the best in music for Protectorate subjects. It's your due, because our way is superior to others.
Honest-to-goodness broadcasting for straight shooters across our... Honest-to-goodness broadcasting for straight shooters across Arcadia. This is Wireless Free Arcadia. Auntie's grand advance across the Arcadia system marches on. Sit back with your favorite adrenaline stimulant as we look ahead on our acquisition agenda. Top top of the list is Praetor, a hostile but asset-rich environment. High risk, high reward. Our current hold on this Protectorate stronghold represents just a lick and a promise. Now we must pluck the high-hanging fruit. Protectorate facilities so hush-hush, even their own adult citizens remain in the dark. No surprise there. Protectorate brass keeps their people on a strict need-to-know-nothing basis. Our agents in proprietary inside acquisition think a Sentinel training facility lies in them hills. Sentinels are the Protectorate's ears and eyes, ensuring the populace remains fat and happy, or else. Certainly their base would be a trove of military technology well defended. Also earmarked for acquisition, a promising mountain lab dedicated to rift experimentation and general alteration of the fabric of space and time. Those unimaginative Protectorate slackwits saddled this facility with the predictably dull moniker Interstitial Reconfiguration Center. Outlaws will stifle your yawn. A classic failure of basic branding. No sizzle whatsoever. We'll fix that soon enough when our forces take the lab and our lab coats appropriate its intellectual property. Our Arcadia takeover is a marathon, not a sprint. We're all in the sprat race together. Soon enough, Praetor's midnight moonscape will be lit like high noon with anti-signage. Now, on to other things. This one reminds me of the morning we drove the Protectorate from Fairfield. A good day for personal freedom and fair trade.
The flavor that lasts and the taste you can't top, from that first smooth inhale to the very last. Try Bubblegum Slims.
Try Bubblegum Slims. But rich tobacco, sweet at the end. What more could you want?
A smoky, sugary blend.
Try Bubblegum Slims. Try Bubblegum Slims.
It's the long slim smoke with the bubblegum filter. It's two treats in one. A double thriller. So make your mouth happy while your satisfaction doubles. No boring old smoke rings. You'll be blowing smoke bubbles. Ba-doo-bop. At home or at work, by the pack or the case, it's the bubbly perk that will pick up your pace. It's Bubblegum Slims. Try Bubblegum Slims today. Ba-doo-wop, ba-yada-bop, ba-doo-bop, doo-wop, ba-yada-da-da-da. Ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-wop. Do bop 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 ba do ya ba ba do ba do wa ba ba do wa.
Lethal measures at the ready, Commander. Your judgment has.
Rich tobacco, sweet at the end. What more could you want? A smoky, sugary blend. Try Bubblegum Slims. Try Bubblegum Slims. It's the long slim smoke with the bubblegum filter. It's two treats in one. A double thriller. So make your mouth happy while your satisfaction doubles. Satisfaction doubles. Instead of boring old smoke rings, ooh, you'll be blowing smoke bubbles.
A broad question. Do we have sufficient time? It all began 13.7 billion years ago when...
Beg your pardon, Presiding Bishop, but I believe this question is a little more specific. Why are we here in Arcadia?
Ah, yes. Our presence in Arcadia is due to the friendship between the Matriarch and our founding Presiding Bishop. Of course, he was not bishop at the time. This was more than a century ago. He had grown disillusioned with the order of scientific inquiry, which he felt had lost sight of the original vision, perfection through prediction. The
matriarch appealed to his desire to return to that original vision, asking him to join the Enterprise. Together, they would establish a perfect society devoted to humanity's ascension. In exchange, she would finance a computronic machine that would account for every possibility, the Archive. Such a device could never be built on Earth with its paltry resources. So began our sect, the Order of the Ascendant, steadfast in our crusade to solve the universal equation in Arcadia.
It's Bizzos, Bizzos, we love Bizzos, Bizzos.
And that, to answer your listener's query, is why we are here.
Stay tuned for what follows. And now, more music to perform advanced calculations by.
Arriving any moment now. Approaching station. Head office time.
Foundation that Auntie's Choice Society is based upon. Not because we worship bits, but because of the system's
Soon I'll be able to... You're back! Finally! Finally! Do you have it? Did you bring it here? Splendid. Oh, splendid! We'll ensure your reward matches the ample amount of faith I've placed in you. Nay, exceeds it. No additional hidden clauses. Honest. Oh, let me see it. Yes, indeed. Oh, let me look at you, gorgeous. If you'll all just excuse me a moment as I slip into something more formidable.
There you are. Congratulations. Now your body's almost as intimidating as your mind. You've narrowed the gap quite a bit.
Oh, Auntie, you look amazing. Absolutely everyone will want a new mech body after watching you strut the walk.
What about you? What do you think? Any first impressions you'd like to share? Wonderful! Exactly the effect I was hoping for. What's more, it's an undeniable confirmation that the Archive-derived strategic plan can be reliably executed and produces incredible results. With their predictive abilities refining our planning and execution, our market dominance is a foregone conclusion. Yes, so much to do, and we have you to thank for making it happen. I am quite looking forward to you working for me further. As they say, time is capital. Time is bits. You're burning lucre just standing there. Go!
Traveling at the velocity of light through the vacuum of space on our primary band, this is Grand Plan Wireless, the informed, sourced, peer-reviewed sound of scientism. A general reminder for the especially studious: monitor your step when traversing between academical appointments. Do not read and walk. If you must operate near or adjacent to said conspicuous dimensional disturbances, please take additional care. Eyes forward, noses out of academic journals.
So ends this missive.
Continuing as predetermined. This popular number has been conclusively proven to promote cognitive function.
The color of space, a chromospectral analysis. When asked about the average color of space, the famous stellar cartographer Newton Otiscard replied, no hesitation, beige. To experienced lumen astronomers, his answer was the expected one. But I can already hear the obtuse listener bleating, with their faces contorted into a rictus of ignorance. Wouldn't the average color be black or white, or simply a shade of gray? No. No, it would not. The answer is rooted in the science of how hot objects absorb and emit light, which answers the ancillary mystery of why there are no green stars. To understand all of this, you must understand the basics of thermal divarication emission theory. The typical piece of non-heated matter absorbs most electromagnetic radiation that falls upon it, including light, infrared, and radio emissions. And the matter reflects only a small portion of that radiation. The visible part of that reflection is its color. However, most stellar objects generate far more radiation than they absorb, so they can be modeled as an idealized object, which is assumed to absorb 100% of all electromagnetic radiation and re-emit some based on its temperature and composition. Stellar composition determines what packets of light will be emitted, while stellar temperature determines the frequency of light and hence what portion of the spectrum that light is in. Low temperature emission is mostly infrared and not visible to us without proper instrumentation, which I need not describe here. As the stellar body's temperature increases, its emitted light shifts up into visible light, through red into orange, then yellow, then white. Even rare blue stars exist. These are the hottest stars, emitting mostly blue and invisible ultraviolet light. So why are there no green stars, you wonder? I would think the listeners could easily draw this trivial conclusion for themselves, but if I must... It's because any star emitting green light also emits bluish and/or reddish light too, resulting in a non-green star. There is no naturally occurring stellar composition that emits solely packets of green light. In fact, such a composition itself would constitute evidence for intelligent interference, and no such evidence of any kind has ever been detected. Let's get back to Newton Otiscard, the famous stellar photographer. The methodology of the Otiscard's chromospectral survey was straightforward. He partitioned his astronomical field of view into grids, then tagged each object in every grid. He ignored empty regions, as black would only dim the color and not change its fundamental hue. The light from every galaxy, star, nebula, and quasar was gathered and fed into a central tabulator for computation. The subsequent spectral analysis produced a final to within 0.5% of the predicted value. And that result was beige. More specifically, in the cylindrical coordinate model of color space, the hue is 42 degrees, while the saturation is a mere 9%, and the value is a full 100%. In more novice terms, while the color tends towards white, the addition of a variety of reds and some blues